Manipulation operates in the shadows of our interactions, often subtle but deeply impactful. It distorts trust, exploits vulnerabilities, and erodes autonomy. Manipulators thrive on emotional, psychological, and even situational control, leaving their targets questioning their choices, relationships, and worth. Stoic philosophy teaches us to guard our minds and focus on what lies within our control. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Manipulators, however, disregard these principles, weaving webs of deception for personal gain. Recognizing their tactics and fortifying your boundaries is essential for maintaining your sense of self. This discussion dives into 5 forms of manipulation, exploring how they operate, why they're effective, and actionable strategies for resistance. 1. Emotional blackmail, weaponizing guilt and fear. Emotional blackmail is a manipulator's weapon of choice for those who are empathetic and caring. It preys on your desire to be kind, reliable, or supportive, turning these strengths into vulnerabilities. The manipulator creates a false sense of responsibility for their happiness or success, often framing your resistance as selfishness or betrayal. How it works. Emotional blackmail uses a cycle of guilt, obligation, and fear. The manipulator will guilt trip you into compliance using statements like, "After everything I've done for you, you owe me this. If you really cared about me, you'd do it." This technique often escalates, incorporating threats of emotional withdrawal, ultimatums, or even public shaming. The goal is to make you prioritize their needs above your own, trapping you in a cycle of submission and self-doubt. Why it's effective. Humans are inherently social creatures. We value relationships and often go to great lengths to avoid conflict or feelings of abandonment. Emotional blackmail exploits these instincts, making you feel as though your refusal would harm the relationship or label you as unkind. How to recognize it? You feel a constant sense of obligation to the person, even when their demands are unreasonable. They react dramatically to boundaries, accusing you of being selfish or heartless. You notice their happiness or approval seems conditional on your compliance. How to resist? Reclaim your narrative. Remind yourself that their feelings are not your responsibility. You can empathize without taking on their burdens. Practice assertive communication. Calmly but firmly state your boundaries. For example, "I understand this is important to you, but I cannot meet that request right now." Limit engagement. If they continue to guilt trip or escalate, disengage. Emotional blackmail loses its power when it doesn't elicit the desired response. Seek outside perspective. A trusted friend or therapist can help you see the manipulation more clearly and reinforce your boundaries. 2. Gaslighting, eroding your reality. Gaslighting is a sinister form of manipulation that distorts your perception of reality. It's not just about lying, it's about making you doubt your own experiences, memories, and instincts. Over time, this psychological warfare can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and emotionally dependent on the manipulator. How it works. Gaslighting often begins subtly, but escalates into full-blown control. Tactics include denial. "I never said that. You must be imagining things." Minimization. "You're overreacting. It's not that serious." Deflection. "Why are you so sensitive? You're making this a bigger deal than it is." Over time, these strategies create a dynamic where you question your memory and instincts, turning to the manipulator for clarity and validation. Why it's effective. Gaslighting works because it undermines your confidence. The manipulator chips away at your trust in your own mind, making you increasingly reliant on their version of events. This dependency gives them immense power over your thoughts and actions. How to recognize it. You frequently second-guess your memories or feelings, wondering if you're overreacting. They dismiss or ridicule your concerns, turning the focus back on your perceived flaws. You feel anxious or on edge around them, unsure of how they'll twist your words or actions. How to resist. Document the facts. Keep a record of conversations, events, or agreements. Having written or tangible proof can counter their attempts to distort the truth. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Rely on your intuition as a guide, even when they try to convince you otherwise. Set boundaries. When they deny or dismiss your reality, calmly assert your perspective. I remember it differently, and I stand by my memory of the events. Seek external validation. Share your experiences with someone you trust. They can provide a more objective perspective and help reaffirm your reality. Limit interaction. Gaslighters thrive on access to your mind. If possible, reduce their influence by limiting contact. 3. The perpetual victim. Drawing you into their negativity. The perpetual victim thrives on self-pity and external blame. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions, preferring to see themselves as helpless in the face of life's challenges. While initially appearing vulnerable or in need of support, these individuals often drain your emotional energy and trap you in their cycles of negativity. How it works. Perpetual victims use their misfortune to gain sympathy and attention. They constantly narrate how the world has wronged them, often using phrases like, "It's not my fault. Everything always goes wrong for me." You don't understand what it's like to be in my position. When you offer advice, they dismiss it, preferring to focus on their grievances. Attempts to help or empower them often result in frustration as they resist change. Why it's effective? Most people are naturally empathetic, and the perpetual victim leverages this compassion. By presenting themselves as powerless, they elicit your support and attention. Over time, this dynamic can make you feel guilty for setting boundaries or prioritizing your own needs. How to recognize it? They frequently share stories of how others have wronged them, but rarely acknowledge their role in conflicts. They resist advice or solutions, choosing instead to dwell on their problems. Interactions with them leave you feeling emotionally drained or frustrated. How to resist? Set emotional boundaries. Acknowledge their feelings, but limit your emotional involvement. For example, "I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm not in a position to help right now." Redirect responsibility. Encourage them to take ownership of their circumstances by asking empowering questions. What steps can you take to improve this situation? Protect your energy. If their negativity becomes overwhelming, consider limiting the time you spend with them. Surround yourself with proactive people. Seek relationships with those who inspire growth and resilience rather than perpetuate helplessness. 4. The gossip, eroding trust through secrets and rumors. Gossipers are skilled at sowing discord and mistrust. They often appear charismatic or entertaining, but their behavior creates division and damages relationships. If someone habitually speaks poorly of others, it's only a matter of time before they do the same about you. How it works? Gossipers thrive on drama and attention. They share private or sensitive information under the guise of concern, saying things like, "I shouldn't be telling you this, but I thought you'd want to know what so-and-so is saying about you." They often exaggerate or twist facts to make their stories more compelling, drawing you into their web of negativity. Why it's effective? Humans are naturally curious, and gossip feeds this curiosity. It also gives people a false sense of closeness, as sharing secrets can create an illusion of trust. However, this trust is one-sided. The gossiper's loyalty is fleeting and self-serving. How to recognize it? Their conversations frequently involve discussing others in a negative light. They reveal private or sensitive details about people without permission. They rarely focus on constructive or meaningful topics, preferring sensationalism. How to resist? Refuse to engage. Politely but firmly change the subject when gossip arises. For example, "I prefer not to talk about people who aren't here to speak for themselves." Protect your privacy. Avoid sharing personal details with known gossipers, as they may misuse this information. Foster positive conversations. Shift the focus to constructive topics or shared goals. Lead by example. By refusing to participate in gossip, you set a standard for integrity and respect. 5. The manipulator. Master of control and coercion. Manipulators are the ultimate strategists, using subtle yet calculated methods to control others for their own gain. They excel at exploiting vulnerabilities, twisting situations to their advantage, and making you feel obligated to meet their needs. Their influence can leave you feeling powerless, guilty, or trapped. How it works? Manipulators use a variety of techniques to achieve their goals, including guilt tripping. I can't believe you'd let me down like this. Emotional coercion. If you don't help me, I don't know what I'll do. Deceptive charm. Winning your trust and then using it against you. They often mask their intentions with flattery or concern, making it difficult to recognize their true motives. Why it's effective. Manipulators understand human psychology. They know how to tap into your emotions, particularly empathy, guilt, or fear, to influence your actions. By making you question your own instincts or decisions, they gain control over the dynamic. How to recognize it. You feel obligated to meet their needs even when it compromises your well-being. They twist facts or situations to paint themselves as the victim or hero. You often feel uneasy or off balance during interactions with them. How to resist. Strengthen your boundaries. Be clear about what you will and won't tolerate. Use statements like, "I can't help you with that, but I hope you find a solution." Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate rather than ignore it. Manipulators often rely on your hesitation. Focus on facts. When they try to twist reality, stick to objective truths and evidence. Limit their influence. If possible, distance yourself from the manipulator. Their power diminishes when they can no longer access your emotions or decisions. 6. The narcissist, exploiting ego for control. Narcissists are masters of self-promotion and emotional exploitation. They thrive on admiration and validation, often at the expense of genuine relationships. Trusting a narcissist is dangerous because their loyalty is only to themselves, and they will readily discard others when they are no longer useful. How it works. Narcissists manipulate by positioning themselves as indispensable or superior. They use tactics like love bombing, showering you with praise and attention to gain your trust, shifting blame, refusing accountability by making you feel at fault, emotional withdrawal, withholding affection or approval to punish or control. Their goal is to maintain power over you while feeding their insatiable need for attention and control. Why it's effective. Narcissists understand how to exploit human desire for connection and approval. Their charm draws people in, while their manipulative tendencies keep them in control of the relationship. How to recognize it. They dominate conversations, often steering the focus back to themselves. They become defensive or hostile when criticized, even constructively. They use charm or charisma to mask their selfish motives. How to resist. Avoid validation seeking. Recognize that their approval is fleeting and conditional. Set firm boundaries. Make it clear that your needs and values will not be compromised. Detach emotionally. Their power lies in their ability to manipulate your feelings. Refuse to let their actions dictate your self-worth. Prioritize genuine relationships. Surround yourself with people who value mutual respect and authenticity. 7. The envious, undermining through resentment. Envious individuals are consumed by resentment and insecurity. They struggle to celebrate the success of others, often resorting to sabotage, passive-aggressive behavior, or outright criticism to mask their feelings of inadequacy. How it works. Envy-driven manipulators use subtle tactics to undermine confidence, including backhanded compliments, masking criticism as praise, e.g., "Your lucky things just seem to fall into place for you." Undermining, discrediting your achievements or downplaying your efforts. Sabotage, deliberately creating obstacles to hinder your progress. Their goal is to bring you down to their level, rather than improving themselves. Why it's effective. Envious individuals exploit your trust by pretending to be supportive while covertly working against you. Their criticism can create self-doubt, weakening your resolve and confidence. How to recognize it. They struggle to express genuine happiness for your successes. Their support feels insincere or conditional. They take subtle pleasure in your setbacks or failures. How to resist. Limit personal sharing. Avoid revealing details about your successes or plans to those who exhibit envy. Seek encouraging company. Build relationships with people who celebrate your achievements without jealousy. Confront their behavior. If safe to do so, address the issue directly. "No, I've noticed you often downplay my efforts. Is something bothering you?" 8. The reckless, dragging you into chaos. Reckless people act impulsively, often without considering the consequences of their actions. While their behavior may seem exciting or adventurous, it frequently leads to unnecessary risks, drama, and collateral damage. How it works. Reckless individuals draw others into their chaos by overpromising, committing to plans or projects without the means to follow through, disregarding consequences, insisting everything will work out, even in high-stakes situations. Pressuring others, urging you to join their risky endeavors, often using peer pressure or guilt. Their lack of foresight can destabilize your life, making it difficult to maintain focus or stability. Why it's effective? Reckless people often exude confidence, convincing others that their impulsive actions are justified or harmless. Their charisma can make their plans seem more appealing than they are. How to recognize it? They frequently act on whims, ignoring potential consequences. Their plans often lead to unnecessary drama or failure. They dismiss advice or warnings, claiming everything will work out. How to resist? Evaluate risks. Before agreeing to their plans, assess the potential outcomes rationally. Say no firmly. Refuse to be dragged into their schemes, regardless of their persuasion tactics. Maintain distance. If their behavior consistently disrupts your life, limit your interactions. Value stability. Surround yourself with people who demonstrate foresight and responsibility. 9. The passive-aggressive sabotage in disguise. Passive-aggressive people avoid direct confrontation, using subtle jabs or actions to express their dissatisfaction. While they may appear cooperative on the surface, their underlying resentment often manifests in unspoken conflict. How it works. Passive-aggressive manipulators use indirect tactics such as silent treatment, withdrawing communication to punish or manipulate. Backhanded comments, saying one thing but implying another, e.g., "Oh, I didn't expect you to pull that off." Procrastination, delaying tasks to express dissatisfaction covertly. Their behavior creates tension, leaving you uncertain about their true intentions. Why it's effective. Passive aggression thrives on ambiguity. By avoiding direct confrontation, they shift the burden of addressing the conflict onto you. How to recognize it? They avoid open discussions about their feelings. Their compliments often feel insincere or loaded with hidden criticism. They forget responsibilities or commitments as a form of retaliation. How to resist? Address the behavior. Calmly point out their actions and ask for clarity. "I noticed you've been quiet. Is something bothering you?" Avoid reacting emotionally. Passive-aggressive people often seek a dramatic reaction. Stay composed. Encourage direct communication. Let them know you value honesty and would prefer they express their concerns openly. 10. The opportunist. Exploiting circumstances for personal gain. Opportunists are experts at exploiting situations and people for their benefit. They are highly adaptable, using charm, persuasion, or manipulation to get what they want, regardless of the consequences for others. How it works. Opportunists manipulate by feigning interest, pretending to care about your goals or needs to gain your trust. Strategic favor-giving, offering help with the expectation of future repayment. Exploiting weaknesses, using your vulnerabilities against you when it benefits them. Their ultimate goal is to advance their interests, even at your expense. Why it's effective. Opportunists excel at making you feel valued or indebted. Their actions often seem altruistic at first, masking their self-serving motives. How to recognize it. They often appear overly accommodating or eager to help. Their support comes with strings attached, creating a sense of obligation. They quickly lose interest once they've achieved their goal. How to resist. Question their motives. Ask yourself whether their actions align with genuine care or self-interest. Avoid obligations. Politely decline offers that may create a sense of debt. Stay vigilant. Be cautious of sudden or excessive interest in your plans or resources. Build reciprocity. Prioritize relationships built on mutual trust and respect. Conclusion. Mastering the art of influence. Manipulation is a powerful force that can undermine your sense of self, strain your relationships, and divert you from your purpose. By recognizing the tactics of emotional blackmailers, gaslighters, narcissists, and other manipulative individuals, you take the first critical step toward protecting your mental clarity and emotional well-being. The Stoics remind us of the importance of discernment. As Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." Cultivating relationships with people who align with your values and challenge you to grow is essential. Just as important is guarding your energy and setting firm boundaries against those who seek to exploit your kindness, erode your confidence, or manipulate your decisions. Ultimately, mastering the art of influence begins with mastering yourself. Strengthen your boundaries, trust your intuition, and refuse to compromise your integrity. By doing so, you'll foster a life surrounded by authenticity, mutual respect, and purposeful connections. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let this wisdom guide you as you navigate relationships, empowering you to resist manipulation and embrace a life of clarity, intention, and freedom.